Howdy, howdy, folks. Welcome back to Beers and Gears. This is episode 8.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Blade.
2 months of this. Can you believe it?
It's pretty crazy, I'll tell you what. But hey, we're still kicking.
Got a good guest coming on. Should be here shortly. We're just getting finished setting up for him.
Yep, and then we'll see you there.
See you later on Beers and Gears.
Till next time.
Driver, start your engines. Get all strapped in. The nerves are there till I flip that switch. Then it all goes away. Nothing in the world can get to me when I'm on that track. There's nothing else that matters. Just going fast and turning laps. Just trying to move forward. I could go skydiving or bungee jump. The adrenaline still doesn't compare. Taking that left turn fast as you can. The give and take, the bump, the bang. Trying to be the first to get to that checkered flag. I just wanna race my race. You gotta be fast or you're the worst. You gotta be fast or you're gonna get your I just wanna race my race. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Are you all ready? Get ready to rumble. That boil's best tight. You feel the rumble of the crowd as the cars go speeding by. All the dirt in the air, the smell of tires, cars passing back and forth. See the excitement, the pain, the sadness, the joy, the failures and the triumph. Whoa, feel the victory closing in. Yeah. Ain't nothing like it in the world. Well, let's walk, race my race. Crack a beer afterwards. I just wanna race my race. Lots of full left turns. Get that flag, stand on that roof. Whoa, I just wanna race my race. I just wanna race. Win or lose, gonna have fun either way. Whoa, I just wanna race my race. I just wanna race, crack a beer afterwards. Whoa, I just wanna race my race. I just wanna race. You gotta be fast or you're the worst. You gotta be fast or you're gonna get past. I just wanna race my race. If you can't be the show, be the show, right? Win or lose, gonna have fun either way. I just wanna race my race. I just wanna race, crack a beer afterwards.
And welcome back to Beers and Gears episode 8. I'm Blade.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jevin.
Javin Robbins is here.
It's good to meet you. And who are you? I haven't really spoken to you much, so.
Well, I'm
If any at
Jevin
all.
Robbins. We've been around racing for since the '90s. Obviously Jason's my brother. You know who he is.
Yeah.
Chuck and them. We help them out a lot. Jason's driving for him, so
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's me.
We've seen plenty of you on Chuck's channel for sure.
Oh yeah, I get around on there a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I haven't really watched any much of it, so I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, we'll have to get him caught up. He's
Yeah.
jumping in this
Boy.
year. And,
You might as well start binging that.
Honestly,
yeah, that's good stuff. He's gonna hop on and do
Easy to watch.
camera work this year for us.
Does
so.
he?
Well,
Nice.
So for people who don't know, where you from?
Oh, I from New Daggings. I went to school in Benton here. I live in Leadmine now.
Yep.
Uh,
You live far away, close here?
yep. In 2012, I moved to Montana, Billings, Montana. I lived out there for about 4 years. And then when my son was born in 2016, we moved back to La Crosse.
Yep.
My wife got a job there, so we moved to La Crosse, and then in 2021 we moved back to Leadvine. So we're back home now.
there you go.
Just in time to get into racing again here.
Yep. Yep.
So what was your first racing experience? Anybody knows the Robinses could probably about guess it, but
The first actual race experience.
that could be watching. It could be.
I would say it was been back in the mid '90s. Was it '97 area? My dad, Steve Huffman, and Steve Copeland all got together and they built a race car. And Steve Huffman raced it at that time. It was the old 16 car. They raced enduro races in Darlington. They're trying to, at that time, they're trying to make some money and get the Darlington track up and going again.
Right.
So they just had the enduro races over there, and they ran in Darlington and Warren, and ran that up in Lancaster some too. But that was back, I think it was '97. So they built the car, and then they built a new car because that enduro car got destroyed when Hoffman went off over the berm coming out of the corner in Darlington.
Yeah,
They didn't have
yeah.
they didn't have walls around at that time. You just had probably a 3-foot
Big old berm, basically.
dirt berm, and I think he broke a tie rod and it launched him off the corner.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I remember. They said the announcer came over and he said they caught him on radar at O'Hare. But he launched it up and that pretty well, I think, ended that car. It was pretty rough at that time. That car was. Then they built a new car, and then my dad ended up buying that car, and then that's when we kind of started doing our own thing. And then Huffman's at that time, Steve, his kids, Kyle and Kane, went off and they were racing go-karts at that time. So
yeah, over at Sugar River.
Yep.
So that was right around when they were bringing back Darlington as a track.
Yes. So the enduro races, I think, if I remember right, they were doing all that to try to make some money to get the Darlington Stock Car Association going, get the track up and going again, because it was sitting vacant for
since the '60s,
'60s or '70s, yeah,
So,
something like that.
because my dad was pretty young when they closed.
Was it? Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. That because somebody had passed away at the track because a car landed on him.
Yeah, I don't know exactly all that, what all happened there for sure. I'm sure some of the older generation can
So Charlie Spry told me
confirm that. And he'd probably know more. He's pretty good at
he's got everything down.
Yeah.
They said they had cars used to park in the infield at Darlington.
Yep, I remember that.
And he said there's a couple guys working on the car, and this car wrecked bad enough that he flipped up in the air, and they're just landed on top of him, basically.
Did it?
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
The guy who told Charlie this was the guy pitting right next to him, and he was like sitting next to him as it happened. That was nuts.
So Darlington used to be a half-mile track.
Yep.
And honestly, the backstretch ran right along the Pecatonic River.
Yeah.
Pecatonic River. I mean, they said there's cars they'd go off the track and they'd fly into the river all the time.
Oh, jeez.
Back then. From the stories I've heard.
Yeah.
You know.
My great uncle Orville Spore used to race over there.
Did he?
And in like Packards or something like that.
Yeah.
Old cars. He said they used to have a deal. The first one in the river got a 6-pack for free.
I think I've heard that actually.
Well,
And I got a couple pictures that I saved from Charlie's page. You know, the drivers climbing out of the car in the water and all that.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
From all the stories I hear, it was crazy back then.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
And those things were very crude cars. There was zero safety in there.
It's kind of cool. You can pull into Darlington and still see the bank.
Yep.
The whole track, you can still see it.
And in the pits, obviously, I mean, right along the people are pitting on the old track in the backstretch there, where it used to be.
Yeah, and even in the parking lot, part of that's the track.
You can see that.
I think the front stretch is basically
the front stretch is the same still. I think, from what I understand, the front stretch is all the same, but you can. If you look at it real close, you can see like where the corner came around because the old half mile.
It's crazy to think how big it is.
Oh, it was huge.
Yeah,
no kidding.
I want to take pictures of that because I'm in this Facebook group that is the tracks that had gone away.
Oh yeah, I've got that.
Yeah, and they share all these lost
speedway.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dale Jr.'s old show they had on there.
Yeah,
but so. We know Jason races. How many of your family members raced?
Well, started out my dad. My dad raced, obviously. Both my sisters raced. My older sister raced in '99, I think it was. This is when she stopped racing and moved to North Carolina.
Okay.
My younger sister used to race also. We raced in the Economod class. It was a class that we kind of helped develop in Darlington to get more people into racing. It was really cheap. She raced that, and then I raced, and obviously my brother raced. My cousin Jeff, he raced.
Man, he was telling us about.
Yeah. That was an ultra. Those guys raced the 4-cylinder, and he had a sport mod at one time too. Or back then it was a B mod.
B mod, yep.
But he had one of those too for a while there, and he raced 4-cylinder, the B mod, and he raced the Outlaw 4-cylinder for a while.
Gotcha.
I think he raced that for a year.
I couldn't believe how many stock rules were in those 4-cylinders originally.
Original stock 4-cylinder. There's a lot of rules in there.
Taillights, working radio. It's nuts.
And that taillight rule is very common on a lot of tracks still. Like a lot of asphalt tracks, I think, have that. I think there's they call them 6-shooters in lacrosse on the asphalt track, and they have to have the taillights in there, if I remember correctly.
I mean, it's kind of nice.
I don't follow lacrosse speedway all those very closely, but
I got a cousin who kind of races up there here and there in a 4-cylinder, and that'd be kind of nice just to know when the guy ahead of you is going to tap the brake real quick.
Honestly,
to get it set in there, you know. It would keep the guys from behind you from piling in on you. And
pretty much.
Unless you're doing it on purpose.
Right. Right.
So what got you into racing here?
It's just always been in the family.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, we've always been into racing. Even before, like, we got into racing with, like, Huffman's and all them come together and built that first car. We used to go with the Huffman's to drag races a lot.
Okay.
We used to go to Great Lakes drag way there quite a bit.
Like
every year we'd go there. Me and Kyle, like I grew up with Kyle, like I've known him my whole life. We always went there. But before that, that's about as far back as I can even remember. I mean, that was. We were probably 4 or 5 years old at this time. And obviously my sister and my brother are a little older than me.
Right. Well, it's perfectly spaced because Jason's a year older than my oldest sister, and you're a year older than my youngest sister.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm 8 years apart from them, 9 years apart from them, so.
Yeah.
And that brings me into a question I had for you. Now, I think that I remember this. I don't know how true it is. I might have made it up in my head. But I remember hanging out at your dad's place when I was little with Teresa and all you guys hanging out. And I remember you putting me in a race car, just sitting me in the car. I don't know how true that might be. So I remember you used to sit back by the shed, or was that?
That very well could have happened.
Could have
I have
happened?
no idea.
And I told Eric, I got to ask him if that actually happened. In my head, I remember.
Oh, if you remember, it probably did. I mean, it was probably the car we called Mary Alice. That was the second one that the Huffman and Dad and Steve Copeland built. We named it Mary Alice because we bought it from a lady in town here named Mary Alice. It was actually a Buick Regal Turbo.
Oh, there you go.
Should have never turned into a race car, but it did. Back then, it wasn't quite worth what it is today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's worth a little bit more than my Regal.
Yeah.
So, we know that you race the hobby stock now.
Yep.
What other cars have you driven?
Oh, boy. So, I race my hobby stock now, but before, my very first race car was a hobby stock back then, which was kind of a cross between our hobby stock and the stock cars now.
Right.
That was my first race car. Then I ran a limited late model for a while back then, and then I ran a B mod, which was now kind of the pro or sport mod now. And I have ran a 4-cylinder one night in Lancaster. There was a team race, they called it. I ran a 4-cylinder. That was just one night. Those are very hard to drive. I don't know how you do it. Totally different from everything else I've driven. I ran a limited stock one night, way back in the day too. A similar thing that was in Lancaster also. Then I had my limited late model again. I ran a USRA late model when I was in lacrosse. I raced up at Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Gotcha. Yep, I've heard of that place.
I did run the actual sport mod class for a little bit before I moved to Montana. And then now I'm obviously back in my hobby stuff.
Well, hey, there you go. Do you have any favorite moments you can think of? Anything crazy that sticks out?
Gosh.
There's been a lot, I bet.
There's been a lot, yeah. I mean, over the years, there's been a lot of. I mean, it's really hard to pick out just one crazy, exciting moment. You know,
give us a list. We don't care.
I mean,
we got plenty of time.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I've rolled over 3 different times now, all of them in Dubuque.
Really?
Yes, I rolled my sport mod right before I moved to Montana. In Dubuque, I came off and I touched tires with another guy. My front tire hit his back tire, and it just turned me straight into the wall.
Oh.
And then I rolled it end over end down the back stretch. And now, I mean, I've never really gotten hurt ever in a car. I've had some hard wrecks, but favorite moment, gosh, the crazy moment. I mean, now the rollovers were obviously crazy moments.
Well, I'm surprised. Yeah, you didn't get hurt from any of them.
Geez, the last one, the whole body come off the car.
Yeah,
he climbed out the roof of the car.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough deal. That guy, he probably should have lifted.
Yeah.
We won't name names. 12 car. I came off the corner and I looked up and I didn't see him there. I mean, I was racing side by side with him for like 3-4 laps before that, you know. I think I started that race in like 18th or 19th place when I started, and now we were racing for 4th, I think.
Yeah, I was up there.
4th, and I worked my way all the way up there, and I was racing pretty hard, but we never touched for like 3 or 4 laps, and I seen an opening, he wasn't there. I thought, you know, he went up the track or something messed up, spun his tires or something. So I kind of worked my way back up to the top to get in the groove, and I felt him, so I tried turning back down the track, but he chased me back down the track and turned me sideways, and then he didn't lift. Then
you got to
drunk that car. I built that car too the year before, or that winter before.
Yep. And you kind of got a bad deal out of that, but he went flying too.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was a party.
He was about as high as the catch fence.
Oh yeah, he told my brother. He told him that. Oh my God!
Oh man!
If I'm not in here, I'm your biggest fan, man. You know what? We were talking about this car.
That's the car.
I got a marker and everything. Oh, it's Jay Walt. I got your picture too, man. Will you sign it?
Oh yeah.
And that's
I'll sign it. I brought stickers.
Oh my.
Oh, it's even silver.
It's all dented from where you ran into me all year.
We were just talking about this car.
Oh yeah. Well,
it was upside down. I saw it. I was
That's what we
there.
were talking about. Yeah, he was behind it all.
Cool. Oh my God, it's the greatest day ever.
He just gone.
well,
That's Chuck for you.
Yeah, there we go. Where were we? It was.
He was telling Jason something you said after he was flew up.
Hey, I told Jason there was nothing wrong with his car.
Oh, jeez.
But that guy, I mean, he nosedived his car straight into the track at like 30 feet up.
Yeah.
Car it bent.
Yeah.
Things bent.
Oh yeah.
Well, as his car's rolling, it kind of goes like a ramp, and he
Yeah, he
jumped
ran.
down.
So when he turned me, turned me, you could see where he got the back tire. His front tire was like at my back tire. I could not see him out my side.
Exactly.
And in the race car, you can't see out to the
No, not until they get to your door.
I mean, if his nose is up there by your door, you know, But I felt him, and I tried moving down, but he like chased me down the
He's
track.
probably worried about the fence or the wall too.
Yeah,
and tried to
I
come
don't
down.
know. Yeah.
It's just a bad deal all around.
It was a bad deal. He ran over like the back of the car when he turned. I caught and it blew out my right side or left side tires and it dug in, and then it caught. He went over the back of the car.
Yeah.
And he ran. All the kickers going down to the back were all bent. That car was destroyed. It kinked down the passenger side halo. There was nothing much really bent, like bad on the driver's side, thankfully. But it did push the front pillar down though, so I couldn't get my window net out.
Yep.
And I had a window net that had a spring load, so you had to pull it back and pull it out.
Yep.
I don't run that anymore because of that, because it
Well,
bent down.
Man, that must
even
have
Cam Reamers
crazy.
rolled his car one night, and it did the same thing. They had to cut him out, cut his window net in half to get him out. So after that, I always ran the bucket one.
They're kind of lucky that the roof come off of it.
Oh yeah, I was over there like trying to pull the window net out. I'm like, get out of the car, and then I look up. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I could crawl out the roof.
That's crazy.
Man,
I
that
can't
must-
imagine what was
yeah.
running through your head. When you,
It was so fast. The rollover was so fast. But before that, like I felt the car like laying down on the left side, and I knew it was going to go over.
yeah.
And you just kind of knew, and it was kind of slow motion because like I was trying to turn back to the left, trying to get out of it all,
Yep.
and then I heard the tires boom, and then as soon as I heard that, then she was just it was all over.
Kind of the worst nightmare to feel that go down.
I knew it was going to go over. I was just hoping it wasn't going to be that bad.
Oh,
And then at that point, there was nothing I could do.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
just kind of hang on for dear
I mean,
life. And,
I could have locked the brakes up, and it probably would have just made it all happen quicker. It's all
Yeah.
done. I don't know.
they're kind
I
of
don't even know if I was really on the brake. I don't know. I don't remember.
so quick. They
It was really fast, and it was all done and over with. And I was sitting when I got done, I was sitting on the track, and I was looking in the infield. And I remember looking right into the infield. I was like, "What just happened?" And then I got out of the car, and I seen a boy up there in the fence and telling me what he saw happen. And I was looking down the track, and I could see the obvious marks what all happened.
right.
And then obviously we all saw the video of
Oh yeah.
the replay. You know.
They had a lot of fun with that.
Oh,
With the Dukes of Hazzard theme
Yeah.
song behind
I gotta
it.
watch that now. I've
Oh,
never
it's-
seen it. Yeah.
that's
It's out
it's on Chuck's video too.
Yep.
Done right really shows it clearly what happened.
Yep.
Done right video. He had a shot
Head on down the
Straight-
back stretch. Or front
straight down
stretch.
the front stretch, and you could easily see what happened. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I rolled that. I rolled earlier in that season. My car. That was more of a flop. Kind of flopped it over. Me and Jared Miles. I blew a tire and I tried getting up out of the groove, and Jared unfortunately was right there. He was on the brakes, and it just kind of caught and flopped
Just
it
flopped
over.
it over. Not really a roll, but
No, but I felt bad for him because it messed his car all up. He had a fast car, but it was just that was one of those racing deals, you know.
That's
Just
how it
happens.
is.
Yeah.
Same thing with my mod. You know, I came out of the corner and I came up, just touched that guy's tire, and it ripped the wheel right out of my hands and turned me directly in the wall.
Oh,
And then that was a pretty nasty crack. That one was too.
I can imagine you said you went end over end. Anything
It
going
was
end over end.
a
Yeah.
2012, I think it was, the fair race, 2012. Actually, the Telegraph Herald, I have it at home. The Telegraph Herald on Monday morning had a picture of my car, but it was in the heat race. Didn't end so well after the feature.
Never wasn't so pretty after that.
That was the old Dirtworks that I ran, though, my sport mod.
So, how do you feel being recognized on YouTube or being recognized for being on YouTube, like out in the public kind of thing?
I get it every once in a while, and it's kind of different, you know. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm really a role model or anything, so it's kind of different and kind of neat, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say about that, you know.
That
It's
would be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. It is kind of cool.
I still remember being at the breakfast table, and we used to have the vending machines in there when you were in high school.
Oh yeah.
And you coming up, oh, you want some gummy worms? And
Oh,
give
I
me
don't
candy
even-
out of there.
Like, I don't even remember that.
Oh, I remember all that.
That stuff. I don't know.
Crazy stuff that just kind of
Yeah.
pop.
In the school. Actually, speaking of that, our school, it's really neat. Is actually about a quarter of my high school class is at the track every night.
Yeah.
At least a quarter of them. We got Kyle races, me. We were all in Bark Nice. Actually, I'm wearing a shirt tonight. SpongeBob.
There you go.
And then Jeff Wetter, he helps Mark a lot, and me, and Manny. And he
helps anybody there.
He helps everybody. He's a huge help in the pits. And then we got a couple guys up in the stands. I think Corey O'Connell comes a lot. He's another classmate of ours. We got a lot of people of our close.
That's pretty neat.
We're pretty close knit class, being in such a small town.
Yep.
So there's a lot of us that are always there at the track every night.
So I want to get your side of the story. Manny kind of threw it out there in our episode, and I've been told this story a couple times by Dustin Ferry. The night that the big brawl at Lancaster.
Oh.
I want to hear your side of how was it from there.
I had a feeling this was coming up. It was Darlington.
Darlington.
It was
Everybody
Darlington.
says Lancaster.
No, it was Darlington. So back then, I was running the limited late model. I had an older car. It was like a '97 GRT is what it was, and that's what I was racing. And we were going around. In that year, there was two guys that were really fast. The hell was his name? Bruce Schmitz. He was really fast that year. I think it was 2008, maybe. He was fast. And then Jason was really fast. Like we were running. Jason was winning in Darlington every night. Schmitz was winning in Lancaster every night. But they were always like first, second. Right. And what happened was Schmitz, I don't know what happened. He got into Jason, Jason got put in the wall hard into his night. And then we were rolling around, and Dad was pissed. So we were rolling around in the caution, getting Jason's car off the track. Schmitz got put to the back. And then I rolled around, and then Dad waved me, stopped me, because we're always pitted in the corner coming into 3. He stopped me, so I'm like, all right. Dad looked at me, and he's like, 37 card. Schmitz, you don't finish tonight. So I was like, all right.
Done deal.
Dad owns the cars. He owns both cars, so I do what he tells me to do.
Yeah.
So he came off the corner, and I ran up, and we hit the wall in the backstretch and pushed him. We all ended up down in the corner 3, and Schmitz pitted right across the entrance gate from us.
Oh, boy.
So I mean, we were close,
right?
Always. So we were all wrecked, and we were sitting down there, and he comes over. Schmitz comes out. And I put my window net, which probably shouldn't have did that, but he was hitting me. But he was hitting my helmet, so it was kind of a boom, boom. Didn't really hurt me.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he disappeared. He was gone, and from my perspective, I didn't even know where he went. I thought he walked back to his car or something.
Yep.
So I go crawl out of my car, and then the pit official comes behind me and bear hugs me from behind. I'm like, what? What's going on? I look over, and there's just a pile of people over there. So back then, we built a lot of engines for a lot of cars at that time. We had a lot of friends there. I think it was John Gobrick was probably one of the first ones over there, and he tackled Schmitz, and then I think Dad and all of them came, and Manny came last. And I don't know if he just threw himself on all of them.
He said he kind of bully balled and took them all out.
Yeah, it was back then. Then we were all And now, I mean, we got along with Schmitz after that. It was bad. Probably shouldn't have did it, but we did. I
Right.
mean, it is what it is. It was the
Well-
last race of the season. Tensions were high,
Mhm.
you know. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's how that all ended up. I just remember you hitting my helmet, and then he just disappeared. It was like a flash.
Just gone.
He was just gone. John Goldberg. I mean, he's tall. He's got some freaking legs are like this long, you know. And I think it probably took him about 3 strides to get around the track.
Uh,
But I think that was like 2008, maybe 9 area.
yep. Wow. That's crazy. I can't imagine being in something like that.
Oh,
That sounds
yeah.
like one heck of a party, that's for sure.
Yeah, there was a lot of them over there laying on the ground. Manny was on top of the ball.
Well,
He literally said, I was the last one out there because look at me, I don't run. He said,
I think he might have been bigger at that time too.
he said the only thing bad about it was your dad was on the bottom
Yeah.
of the pile.
Yeah.
Oh, so what are your future plans going into this year and on?
This year, I got. Oh gosh, my plans for this year. I'm planning on running Darlington every night. I haven't actually, like the last couple seasons, I've never been able to run every night in Darlington, and we had family stuff. And last year I blew up a couple transmissions at the beginning of the year,
Mhm.
and that kind of put me out for a little while.
I'll
And
do it.
there was that wreck in Dubuque when I blew the transmission up and spun it. It just locked it all up and spun it sideways. There's videos on that TikTok, and I think it was Carter Miles came and hit me. And, I mean, I feel bad for him because he didn't do anything wrong. You
Right.
know, it's just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
But turns out I was blowing transmissions up because I blew 2 of them up beginning of the year because the year before when I rolled, it took and it bent my bell housing. I didn't know that at the time because it was such a violent roll that it actually bent the bell housing. But I got new bell housing. We got that taken care of now. So last year was a pretty decent year overall. At the end of the year, we finished most of the races. Never had too many other issues after that. Thankfully, I didn't roll my car again.
Yeah.
Manny, unfortunately.
Manny, unfortunately, yes.
The old Niner right there. She was on her roof. Everybody's seen the video of that,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
We were just down at the shop, 2 nights ago, and
Yeah.
saw the roof on the ground.
Yeah, I was
There.
laying
Oh,
over
my-
there. He got a new roof on his car.
That's crazy.
He Jason, my brother, he put a fiberglass roof on his car this year, so Manny was able to take his old roof and put it on his car.
Yep.
It needed it.
Just a little bit. It was like all like
It was pretty
folded
rough.
on the inside. It was pretty bad.
I can
Yeah.
imagine.
That was pretty rough.
That's kind of interesting. Fiberglass for body panels. That's a little.
Yep. The hobby stocks are allowed to run, and stock cars are allowed to run fiberglass roofs now.
Okay.
And then the stock cars now have the new body roll. Jason's not putting that on his the Camaro body.
Yeah.
So he's putting the old Monty body on his. He just got the fiberglass roof now.
Yep.
Trying to lighten it up a little bit.
What do you think of the new Camaro stock cars?
I have mixed feelings.
They're interesting, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They got a plastic body and with aluminum doors. Obviously, I'm not racing the Camaro or the stock cars,
right.
so it doesn't affect me any really. But obviously, Jason is, and it does affect him. I believe the stock cars should be able to do something different with their body now, for the older style with different material or something.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, it's constant. It's always evolving. The racing scene is. They have to evolve because, I mean, we run out of resources. Everything. There's no bodies like you could get way back, in the 90s
Exactly.
and stuff. They have to make something different. I've heard that the new Camaro body is very hard to mount. That's what I've heard. You better be able to have a bender or tubing benders and stuff
Gotcha.
and mount it. But Yeah. As for what I think, I mean, everything's evolving. You gotta change it up some every now and then. Is it a advantage? I don't really know for sure. I wouldn't say it's a lot of aerodynamic advantage on them,
Right.
because the stock cars were allowed to run the Camaro nose before. So I don't know. I like the old look better myself
I do
personally.
too.
That's my opinion.
It'll definitely get some new eyes on attach new eyes to the sport, I guess.
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean, I grew up in the '90s. You know, I was born in the '80s, grew up in the '90s, and I like to see that older stuff. But you know, when you get younger people that are getting into it, to them, the older stuff is, you know,
the Camaro, like the Camaros.
You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the younger people like to see that newer stuff in the racing.
I'm a weird person then, because I really like the G body look
Yeah.
to it. You know, it's
honestly.
that's another reason why I like the hobby stocks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I grew up watching old film of like Earnhardt and NASCAR.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh yeah, and even I go back and watch a lot of YouTube videos of old NASCAR races. I probably haven't watched an actual entire NASCAR race, and I probably haven't watched one in 15 years.
yeah.
I used to watch them all religiously, you know, but I just haven't. It's just not what it used to be. Now I like watching a lot of dirt racing, and, and to me, it's just there's a lot more action.
Oh,
in
for
dirt
sure.
racing.
Definitely.
And
The NASCAR stuff and the asphalt stuff, in my opinion, is a lot of follow the leader stuff.
mm-hmm.
But they also are kind of more of a leader in innovation, racing and stuff too. So, I mean, there's constantly evolving, and I think it's necessary. And everybody has their own opinion too. There's people that hate dirt racing and love NASCAR. It's opinion based.
I get a lot of "you're just turning left," which I disagree with 100%.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things I don't like.
Yeah.
I drive a 4-cylinder, so I told the guy at work, I said, "You want to watch an in-car video of me driving? It's not all left, and that's a point and shoot kind of car."
Yeah. And when you're out in that stock or that hobby stock, you're going to notice you are sawing on that wheel a lot more than you think you are. You'll think you'll go back in the race and you'll watch your in-car video and you'll be like, "Wow, I am wheeling that thing." And you can see it in some of Chuck's videos. He's got the in-car videos,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because we can't run any kind of steering quickener. We can't run. We have to have I think it's 2.5 turns, lock to lock on our steering.
Gotcha.
So it's a lot slower steering, and you are wheeling it a lot more.
Yep.
I've noticed.
It'll be weird having power steering. I've never had power steering.
Yeah,
in a race
power
car.
steering's nice. I know Chris Swift. He's raced. Excuse me. He raced hobby stock last year. He used the Cole Trickle car.
Yep.
He ran the whole year without power steering.
Oh,
I don't know.
Forearms.
I don't know how he did. I told him, I'm like, go on the Rock Auto and buy a $30 power steering pump, man.
Honestly.
It's off like a 97 or 98 Jeep Cherokee. It's the same thing. It's Saginaw 2 power steering pump. Put that on your car, and it will be 100 times more fun to race.
Right.
I don't know how
Yeah.
he did that.
No kidding.
Didn't yours, or was it Manny's that went out this year too for one race?
I've never had a power steering prop issue. Actually, the pump that's on my car came off of a Jeep, which was Tommy Greenwood's Jeep.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Unfortunately, he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
But my pump came off his Jeep Cherokee, and it was rotted out. It's sitting there. But I think that thing had 280,000 miles on it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna bolt that thing on my car. We're gonna see if it works. And
There you go.
I bought that. Put that on there, and I bought the tank that bolts to it, and I've not once had an issue.
I need to get one of them.
Yeah,
Because
Rock Auto.
mine didn't come with the.
Get out, Rock Auto.
Well, I could get it at work pretty cheap
Yeah.
if we have it available.
Oh yeah.
But Yeah, that's something I got to get a hold of. And you've always supported the Benton community for racing. You were there for us when we won our first. You were there.
Oh yeah, and Dubuque there.
Uh, Out of all the craziness that happened, the only thing I remember as I'm trying to fight to get my belt off because they were stuck and everything. You walked up to the window and said, "Take your time." Just, and you're like, that's what I remember hearing. Just you walking up, take your time now, enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's your first one. You only get your first one once, you know.
That's for sure. Well, luckily, I got my first one twice because the one at Darlington felt like a first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of cool seeing everybody come together.
Oh yeah, and in this community, and even in racing altogether, dirt racing, everybody's there for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all have our people we don't get along with, but and then everybody's there for everybody. We might have a problem with this guy one night, but next week usually it's completely forgotten.
And next week he's changing your tire.
Yeah,
real quick.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
I try to tell everybody I got no problem with a single person in that pit area.
If you just take your time, I mean, you talk to everybody. You don't be a total dick to them. They'll have a problem with you for. It might be a couple weeks. I talked to a Swenson here. He had an issue with me. I gave him a little shove going in the corner one night in Lancaster, and he was mad at me, and it was in a heat race, and rightfully so,
Right.
And he was mad at me, but I talked to him. Here, I just talked to him this winter at the banquet. He's like, yeah, he's like, I get mad at people. He said, but usually it's like 2 weeks, and I'm over it, and then move on.
Yep.
Life goes on.
Yep.
And we're back right after that quick break.
Yeah. So, I guess my next question would be, you got any other advice for me hopping into that hobby stock? Just to kind of what to expect or what you think?
Advice?
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to win.
Yeah.
Don't try to win right away. You get behind somebody that that can really drive. You get behind the same Miles or you're planning on racing Dubuque, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get behind like Jordan Miles or someone like that. Don't try to pass him.
Right.
And I gave the same advice to Hefty when he started. I told him a similar thing. Follow him. You will learn way more following somebody that is fast and knows how to drive than you will actually trying to race him and beat him. Because you can try to race him and beat him. He's got more experience. He knows what he's doing. You're not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. So you just get in there and you follow him and kind of see when he brakes going into the corner and when he's on the gas, and you will probably not be able to do exactly what he's doing right away, which is obvious. But the more you follow somebody, the more you'll learn. Somebody that's fast.
Gotcha.
I would say that would be the best thing you can do. You start trying to pass them, you'll start trying to throw the car in. And you don't have the experience like they got,
right?
You know what I mean? Then you'll probably hit a rut or something and slide into him, and then he's gonna be mad at you.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
I don't need that again.
No, no. I mean, get behind somebody that's fast, that is fast and is winning every night, or constantly competing in the top 5. Dasher ain't racing this year. I think he's got a stock car now. But you get behind some people like that know what they're doing, and you will learn way more than you will trying to actually race them. That's probably the best advice I've ever been given.
Yep.
That and seat time.
Always. I'm gonna have to come up with some time for that. That's for sure.
I'll be watching some of your races there. We'll see what happens.
Oh,
yeah.
I tell everybody, there's nobody at that track's got to worry about me at all. I think I'm going to be
easy on the gas. Don't just stand on it, floor it. We're running on 7-inch tires. I mean, start spinning the tires. It starts going sideways. We don't have any kind of quick steer, so that's when you'll see people like catch, and then they'll start throwing them like back and forth.
Right.
They're spinning the tires. They catch. And it starts. It's really that kind of stuff. You know, is what causes a lot of big wrecks too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like I think that happened last year in Darlington. I got through it, but Mark Nice hit a guy, and it knocked him out. I think.
Yeah, that was a Darlington.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to take him in the ambulance.
Yeah, well, he didn't go in the ambulance.
Just to check him out.
He just kind of he was for only for a couple seconds too.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. I mean, that's what happened though. I was right behind him all when it all happened. I seen him go sideways and it caught, and it just started threw him over. And when that happened, and it's happened to me. It's happened to me too, and it'll happen to you too. But when that happens, it's really hard to catch the car and keep it going straight, and that's something a lot to do with that slower steering.
Right.
And honestly, I think that's something I really disagree with the IMCA rules too. I think if we were allowed quick steers, we'd have a lot less cautions. But I mean, I don't make the rules. I'm just a driver, so
Yep.
my opinion doesn't really matter at this point.
And I hear you guys are going to be helping out with the Crown Vic class.
Yeah, Drew Stoltenberg, he's got a Crown Vic now. It's very new. I did watch a couple of Crown Vics down when I went down to North Carolina last year to watch my brother-in-law race. They have a Crown Vic class down there. My brother-in-law races a Great Lake model, 604.
Gotcha.
But Crown Vics down there, I mean, they put on a really good show.
Yeah,
That was at Cherokee Speedway. They put on a very good show, and I was pretty impressed with them. I mean, they did a pretty good race. The guys that were pitted a little bit down by us came back on the hook with both his right side doors ripped off. I mean, that happens,
Right.
You know? But no, I was actually impressed. They put on a good race, and they were actually pretty fast cars.
Yeah.
I think you'll be surprised by them.
You think you're gonna? How do you think there are gonna be a lot of people leaving their classes to hop into them, or?
I think you'll see a few hobby stocks hop to them. I think the guys you'll see in the hobby stocks hop to them will be the guys that can't afford to race the hobby stocks. I mean, even the hobby stocks are kind of getting expensive now. But, you know, there's a lot of them that they can't afford to race competitively for first and, you know, top five. I think you'll see a few of those guys that'll hop into it. I think you'll see some new guys. Well, obviously Drew will hop into it.
Right.
I think John Murfeld's got 4 or 5 of them, and I think he's planning on, from what I understand, I could be wrong on this. Don't quote me on any of this, but I think he's planning on just trying to get different people into them, you know, rounding them. I think that is excellent because that'll get new faces into them, people that they get a chance to race it, and once they get a chance to race it, then I think they'll be like, "Oh, this is fun," and they can go from there. You know, even Drew ran kind of into it now. He ran Manny's car in the practice a couple times last year, and now he went out and bought this Crown Vic. I think that's great. I think it's good for the class, or for the racing. I think it's good for racing in the long run.
Another thing to grab more eyes to it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm expecting it, so I don't even watch racing much at all.
Yeah.
But other than that, how you said you watched the show? How do you feel about our show? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's neat. It's something different. Way back, in like 2005, when I first started racing, we had Tommy Greenwood passed away. Obviously, my brother who married his daughter. We had him, and he had a show, and it was kind of an early podcast, really.
Right.
He had a show. It was called Trackside Live on the radio. He'd run it every week, and he'd call, do interviews and everything, and then I think, and then obviously he doesn't do that anymore. He's gone now, unfortunately. But I think something like this, for instance, this is kind of a newer version of that.
Yep.
I think that's great. I think it's needed. I think it's great to get other local people or out there talking and their opinion on things, and I think it's awesome. I think it's should take off for you.
I hope so. It's been fun to do.
Yeah.
Just in the last week, we added some shorts on there and did a Facebook page.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. A few things pop up.
Just that made a
Did a big bump.
Yeah. I mean, there's people watching in Australia.
Oh, really?
That was nuts. I was looking at the analytics and I'm like, Australia, Canada, and Canada I could get. They're right there.
Yeah.
In, England and
Oh, really?
Germany. There's people in Germany watching it with subtitles right now. That's what it said. Yeah. But
that's crazy.
we really appreciate you coming on.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you had me. I wish I could have got on here a little sooner. It's been busy. I've been working on my car a lot.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work going ahead of him here anyways. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, your car. Yeah. Jason, I think, is working on your engine this weekend.
Yep. He's going to call me up, give me some part numbers and stuff I should look up, and go from there. I got a bunch of stuff on order for it. So.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Sweet. Perfect.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Episode 8.
It's been Beers and Gears. Until next time, folks.
I'm John.
I'm Blake.
This has been Kevin Robbins.
Yeah. Glad you had me.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Cut!
Yeah.
And back and forth, city excited, the pain, the sadness, the joy, the failures and the triumph.